Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay, looks like we did it today. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. It's a Feng Shui Friday kind of morning here. Yay. Okay, we are officially in business. So good to be here. All right, I want to see who's going to join us. It's not quite 11 o'clock yet, but we are starting a little early because last week we had some hiccups with the YouTube live recording, and so I just wanted to come on early and make sure that everything was a go. And looks like all systems are a go. And we've got some people rolling in. Hello, Moonlight444. What is your name? Share your name, where you are tuning in from. And my name is Nixie Marie. For those of you all watching the replay or tuning in for the very first time, I am a Feng Shui practitioner and I host a podcast called New Earth and also make amazing magical cleaning products called With Clarity, CLARYTI, by the way, because it always gets spelled wrong. So happy to be here. Today we are kicking off our third and final of our three-part series, Masterclasses around Feng Shui. Hi, Emmy from Miami. So good to have you here. So while everybody joins, we still have a couple more minutes here. So I'm just going to give a little backstory on my journey starting Feng Shui for those that are watching the replay. I started my Feng Shui journey, I honestly feel intuitively, like 10 years ago. I started cleaning homes. I had a cleaning company, and we started making our own products, and I started learning about the energy of homes and how I could clear and cleanse energy while I was cleaning. And then, of course, Feng Shui sort of found me. That's what I kind of like to say. And the rest is sort of history. I found a practitioner through my podcast who became my master. I went through a course, and all of a sudden, boom, Feng Shui is here. It's in my life. So I just really appreciate and honor all the masters that have come before us to teach us this beautiful ancient wisdom, this methodology to really allow us to live in harmony with nature, because really, in a nutshell, that's what Feng Shui allows us to do. It allows us to bring the elements of nature, earth, fire, water, wood, and metal, the five elements of creation, into our spaces so that we truly feel like we are thriving in our lives. And I think we all deserve to thrive. I think that, in today's world, we are in a whole different world than we were, many lifetimes ago, but many years, even just a couple years ago, our world was completely different. And so as we move into our new normal, or create a whole new earth, then we have this opportunity and this window to really understand what it means to be sovereign beings, what it means to thrive versus be in survival mode, which I can fully attest to is a very tough space to be. So that's sort of my backstory. That's how I got started in Feng Shui. And today we're going to be talking all about bedroom Feng Shui, how to create a bedroom that allows you to attract a loving partner and also have enhanced romantic love in your current relationship. And of course, the relationship with yourself, which is, I believe, first and foremost, the most important relationship we can have with ourselves, with ourselves. So we're going to be talking about that today. And I just want to honor you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for joining this masterclass, because by you stepping into this, by you saying yes to this and allowing yourself to understand and learn how to work with your space so that it becomes a harmonious environment, it allows you to really step into your power. And that's what, every time I tap into the energy of Feng Shui, I feel this sense of worthiness. I feel this sense of royalty, because these teachings really came from the ancient temples and the emperors, the age of the emperors, the age of the empresses, and the kings and the queens, they all used a lot of these Feng Shui techniques and rituals and tools to reign really in their power. And so now we have access to a lot of this information. And so it's really important that we are intentional with how we use it. And I always like to start anything that I do related to Feng Shui with a little blessing and an intention for all of us to create and also honor all the masters and the teachers that taught this and passed it down for us to really learn from. So let us just take this moment to take a big inhale and ground in our energy. Take an exhale. Another big inhale. And exhale. And allow for you to have an intention with your day. Bring an intention into your space. Why are you here right now? What called you to Feng Shui? What called you to this masterclass? And since we're bringing in the intention of love and relationships and partnerships and harmony, set your intention with yourself today on how you are going to love yourself. What stories get in the way of loving yourself? And think about your relationships, maybe with a special significant other, or just your relationships with people you love in your life, your friends, your tribe, your community. Think about them. Think about how you're going to love them today. And as we invite this beautiful frequency of love, this energy that wins beyond all measures, this vibration that allows us to truly feel what it feels like when we're in our highest frequency. Because love is the highest frequency, and we want love to be in our spaces. We want love to be in our hearts, in our environments, and we thank all the teachers, the masters, and the loved ones who have come before us. And I ask for them and their teachings to be honored, respected, and held with integrity as we bless everybody here in this space with medicine and wisdom and an opportunity to truly tap into their emperor or empress within. So as you are clear on that intention, why don't in the chat box you guys share what your intention for love is today? How are you going to love yourself? What is your intention? And if you're just joining us, please put your name in the comments and where you're tuning in from. We've got Emmy from Miami. So happy you guys are all here, and we are doing this. We are live. No technical difficulties today. So grateful. Okay, so let's get into this. And my notes are to the right of me, so if I look to the right, I'm not ignoring you. I'm actually just looking at my notes and my prep for today, because we have a lot to cover, and so I'm going to jump right into it. Bedroom Feng Shui is one of the most important. I'm going to not shake my desk, otherwise I'll shake my computer. But bedroom Feng Shui is one of the most important rooms in your home, really. It's where sleep. We do a lot of sleeping. We do a lot of, hopefully, intimacy, whether it be with ourselves or others. If not, we're going to create a space for that to be really, really amplified and enhanced today. Wow, we have lots of lovely, beautiful people here. Sonia, hello. Oh my gosh, Sonia, thank you so much for that beautiful email. I'm so happy for you and your husband. Congratulations on his raise. Sonia was with us last week, and she was able to experience a little bit of a financial gift from the universe after doing her wealth corner. And Nike's here. What's up, sister? So good to see you. And Cameron, we got some sisters here. What's up, babe? So good that you are here. I can't wait to spend some time with you. And we've got Jose Luis. I'm going to love myself today by working out. Greetings from Las Vegas. Vegas, baby, what's up? And, Stephanie, we got her in the house. Oh, my goodness. You guys, all of you here right now, you're just blessing me up. All right, let's get to this. Oh, I'm like almost covered in tears. I get really emotional when people show up and you guys are here and I get to teach the most amazing things that I love to teach. So, all right, so I posted something on my personal page the other day on my Instagram that your bedroom is for sleep and sex. And I want to start this off because this is a very kind of Feng Shui 101. Your bedroom should be only used for two things. And this is even discussed in many different personal development books, wellness books, you name it. The bedroom is a sacred portal. The bedroom is a sacred space. And using it for sex and sleep only allows for you to keep this space. I kind of want you to envision this temple, this space where ritual is allowed to come forth. Because when we look back at the history and the medicine and the magic of sexuality, it really rooted in, mysticism and magic and how we could anchor in one of the most potent universal frequencies of love and relationships and connecting to someone on a really deep soul level. And I want to get to the point where all of this also connects to how you relate to yourself on a deep soul level. So when you think about your bedroom, I want you to think of how you create this space is going to allow you yourself and your partners or lovers or whomever or the one that you're calling in or the one that you're with currently. Doesn't matter your situation. A lot of what I'm going to speak to is it applies to every scenario. Unless you're going to be attracting love, we're going to do some points on how you can enhance that within your bedroom today. But I want you to think of this space, your bedroom, as a portal of love. And so when you think of your bedroom right now, does that feel like that's what it is? Put a yes or no in the comments. Does your bedroom currently feel like it's a temple of love? And if it's a no, we're going to go over ways to cure and harmonize that. If it's a yes, we're going to talk more about ways that you can enhance it. Because either way, I believe there's always work to be done. A home is a work in progress. There's always energy in our space, and there's always new energy. Like energy moves; it's constantly in motion. So we might have times where our bedrooms feel that way, and then sometimes it doesn't because we've got clothes piled up. We've got a partner we live with that maybe doesn't see the same level of cleanliness that you do. So all of these key pointers that we're going to go over today is going to help you create this space. Okay, so we've got some yeses, we've got some no's, some whats. So this is good. We have a good balance of everybody kind of feeling that way within their space. So moving on to the importance of our bedrooms here. So a couple important key elements when considering what to do with your bedroom is where you place your bed. The bed is the biggest, most important piece of furniture in your bedroom because it's where you get to sleep. It might be where you're making that love to yourself or your partner, or it's just simply a place for you to retreat and take care of yourself and give yourself the pleasure, meaning love, meaning sleep, meaning all the things that invite pleasure into our lives. So, with that being said, your bed should always be placed in the command position. And I kind of love this terminology because it makes me feel like, yes, like I'm going to be sleeping in my command position, in my throne, in my queendom, in my kingdom. Wherever that is for you, it's going to be different. So first, let's define what this means. Your command position means that it needs to be faced up against a wall that is not in any pathway where a door is. This is kind of a feng shui don't do by placing your bed along a wall with a door. And another key factor of your bed being in a command position is that the door is visible when you are laying in it. So think about this. If you're laying in your bed, can you see the door, the entryway into your room? Now, the reason why this is considered to be a key indicator of your command position is because subconsciously, we want to feel safe when we go to bed. We want to feel like we can get into that space and feel safe and feel like we're going to be protected when we go to sleep, and that no boogeyman's or spirits or intruder is going to come into our space. And when we can see a door in our subconscious mind, it allows for us to feel safe. So that's kind of where that command position element is important. So usually when we have spaces that don't allow for our beds to be in the command position, then I had mentioned on, that wasn't on this slide, I'm like, where are we here? On my live stream I just did, I had mentioned that you want to create a remedy in your space. So if anybody has why don't I just put in the comment section, if you have a bed that is not able to be in a command position due to the shape of your room or anything like that, I'll go over some cures. Another key factor about where to place your bed is never put it up against a wall. So you want to have even the headboard. You don't want this to be all the way back on a wall. You want to leave a little bit of room for it to breathe. And on both sides, you want to always have two, maybe matching. They've got to be similar side tables so that or nightstands, so that you are creating balance in your space. Oftentimes, I have to share a story about my master teacher that I learned from. She was working with a client, and this man was falling in love. He wanted his partner in his life, and he was having a hard time finding her. So she was doing a Feng Shui consultation with him, and she went into his bedroom, and she said, okay, I can maybe see why you're not calling in your partner. Along his bed walls, he had all these really beautiful, but maybe not so appropriate, nude photos of women. And I'm not trying to sound like it was like porn related, but it was definitely very beautiful. It was just women. They were kind of these black and white portraits, but they were all over his bedroom. There were several of them. And what she said was, these paintings, these portraits, they don't allow for a woman to come in and feel safe. They're going to immediately start to question why you have these nude hanging portraits of women. Maybe once you are in a relationship with someone, you can ask them if they wouldn't mind that you put them back up or put them in a different room. So these are the small things that we want to look at, like artwork, how we decorate our bedrooms, if we're calling in love or if we're wanting more intimacy in our current relationship, because those types of things subconsciously block and don't allow for that nourishing love to come forth. And it's kind of an obvious one. I mean, that's a pretty obvious example. However, to the person that is the man who is receiving that information, to him, he didn't see it that way. He thought, oh, this is beautiful, it's artwork. But to a woman, I mean, personally, yes, if I was walking into a bedroom to, get down with this man and he had these portraits of women, I would maybe think twice that this might not be a long-term partner, maybe just for some fun. So those are the things we want to think of if we're calling in someone in our space. And so we have a couple comments here. Shanti Knight, you're saying like 2 to 3 inches between headboard and wall. Yes, correct. So you want your bed, your headboard to just have a little bit of a gap, maybe maybe a foot gap, not a big gap, but enough to where you can feel that like there's a little bit of space for energy and chi to move around. And I'm going to get deeper into that today, as long as you have time. There's so much to go over. Okay, Cameron says, I have a bathroom door that I can see from the bed, but entry door is across the room. I always keep the bathroom door closed. Exactly. You want to keep your bathroom door always closed. And if you can always drape something. This is a remedy. Well, again, I'm going to dive deeper into, but since we're on this now, you can put a curtain or some fun, like, I'm kind of seeing, like, one of those things that you, like, hang, the little plastic beads that you hang as a kid. But, like, they make really beautiful bamboo ones that kind of go down. that sort of close off that energy. That's fun to put too. We have the same situation in our home, which you'll probably see when you come over, Cameron. We have a bathroom door adjacent to our bed, so we always keep that door closed, and I also sometimes put my plant in front of there if I'm really not getting good sleep. So there's a lot of things. You just want to direct the energy of your space. Be the commander of your energy. That's the thing here. Okay, yes, it's right in front of me, so lots of doors. Okay, great. So I think that answered a couple questions here. Great question, Nike. What if you don't have space for 2 nightstands? So if you don't have space for any nightstands, I would say just find something that you can have to put balance like on both sides of your bed. If you have no space at all, then just leave a little bit of gap on both sides if you're calling in love. Okay. So hopefully that helped. I mean, let's be honest, we all have spaces that allow for more space, and sometimes we don't have the space for certain things. So I'm really, really, really big on working with what you have. So just allow for a little bit of gap between both those areas if you don't have space for 2 nightstands. You could also put some plants there, 2 of the same plants, if there's any space at all. I'm kind of seeing that you probably don't have a lot of space for anything on those 2 sides. So with that being said, just keep a little bit of space if it's kind of not got that amount of room. Okay, so moving on. Another important thing, and this is like hard for me to say because I'm such a plant witch and I love plants and I'm a plant mom, but plants in your bedroom are not really, they're kind of a feng shui no. Yes, Nike, 2 crystals. There you go, girl. Exactly. 2 of the same crystals, put them on the side of your bed. Perfect idea. So plants in your bedroom actually kind of they might provide too much growth because plants symbolize growth and energy and oxygen. They produce a lot of energy in a space. So in your bedroom, you don't want to have too many plants. I see a lot of like jungle spaces that I dream of creating in a bed. However, bedroom is the one space that I only have 2 plants in my bedroom. And if it were up to me and I really wanted to have a lot of plants in there, I would. And here's the thing, I actually tested this because my biggest thing with Feng Shui is you test something for a full lunar cycle, and if it creates any shifts in your life, great, keep it there. If it doesn't do anything, keep shifting it until it does. That's the rule of thumb for me, is make sure you test it. So with plants, we had put like a huge, beautiful fig tree in our bedroom. It actually died really fast. I couldn't keep up with it. Leaves were falling left and right. And I was just like, okay, clearly this is not supposed to be here. So plants are not the best thing to have. I would say the best type of plant to have is a pathos. They do really well. You can kind of hang them from a nightstand next to you if you really love having some plants, some level of plants. Lavender is a really lovely plant to have in your bedroom because it creates that sense of the aromatherapy of calmness, of tranquility and serenity. And what's another good plant to have in your bed? Roses are a great flower to put in your bed because it creates that energy of intimacy. So that's really important. Okay, we're having some questions come in. My wealth corner is in my bedroom. Okay, great. That's amazing. We'll talk about that in just a minute. It's okay. We're actually gonna find where your love and relationships corner is in your space. So if your wealth corner is in your bedroom, we'll get into that. So I'm gonna pinpoint that. Okay, great. So moving on. I mentioned earlier technology. Technology is not something we want to have in our space. This is kind of an obvious one. However, we live with people who maybe want a TV in there. I had someone that said they had a treadmill on my live stream on Instagram. And so my biggest thing with this is if you have to have a office space, technology of any sorts, because your space doesn't allow for you to have your home doesn't allow for you to have separate individual rooms for everything, because let's be honest, we don't all have space for a workout room and an office space and this and that. Like, we've got to kind of work with what we have. What you want to do when you go to bed is you want to close off the energy just like the door. So put a tapestry over a TV, put a tapestry over your treadmill, over your your office space, just put something over it so that the energy is separated for when you go to sleep. And here's the key indicator here, guys. I'm really against TVs in the bedroom. I really, like, when my partner and I moved in, I was like, just letting you know, we're never having a TV in the bedroom. And he had one in his previous space. He didn't really use it much. He didn't put up too much of a fight, so that was great. He doesn't usually anyways. He fully loves Feng Shui and is very interested in everything. But every now and then, we'll have a day in bed where we turn on Netflix, and we're just like, we're in bed, we're lounging. So I'm all about balance. If you feel like it's not overindulgence, give yourself permission to, work from your bed if you need a day to just work from your bed. But don't, when you go to sleep, turn it all off. Close the energy. Don't let that energy come into your sleep space, because it's really important that you keep that separate, especially if you're having sleep issues. If you're someone who has insomnia, you can't go to sleep, you toss and turn, you really are up at night buzzing with energy and you can't just turn off the mind, then these are the types of things you got to pay attention to, because your space, if someone tells me they're having sleep issues, I ask them, okay, what is in your bedroom? And we'll go through it. Okay, is there TV in the space? Is there lots of clutter? Is there your closet's like bulging out and you have no room? Are you sleeping on metal? And we go through the list to see where we can create those cures. So there's a lot of comments here, but I'm going to keep moving forward and I'll get to them in a minute, because we have a lot to cover. Okay, so a couple other things. If you have beams in your space or windows that like ceiling windows, I have both of these things in our current space that we're in, and so we've been really working on how do we create this remedy. And the thing that we were going to do before we went on our sailing voyage for a year and didn't come back, so we didn't do it, is to block off that energy as well. So if you have a beam that's going through your bed between you and your partner, this can energetically create separation. And so you want to be really mindful about this, because it can make you feel like during at night, which might actually support you as well. If you're someone that needs independence, and I could go on a tangent of human design, but human design kind of plays a role here, because if you know human design, you might know if you're a projector or a manifestor or generator, and I'm a generator and my partner is a projector. And so usually generators need, like, projectors take energy from generators. So when I'm sleeping, this is why I think Feng Shui and human design could really work in relationship, because it all depends on our scenarios, right? So I personally sometimes need to sleep on my own to fully get a restful sleep, so that my partner's not taking that energy from me. So we have guest rooms. Sometimes I do this when I really feel like I need to, or I'm going to go do a workshop or a class, or I need all my energy, and he gets that. So that beam could actually support us specifically, because it doesn't create separation where we need that separation when we're sleeping. Because when we all sleep, we're meshing into everyone's energies, right? So that's really important, to know thyself. And this is what Feng Shui allows us to do. So getting into other cures, if you have ceiling windows, it's really great if you have the sleep issue, if you can cover them, get like blinds that close them, or too much too much light in your space. You definitely want, I think this is a very simple one to fix, is you want to have like a room that feels dark, a room that makes you feel like you're going back into the womb space. So those are just some remedies if you have too much light, if you have beams, and then if you have technology in your space. Okay, moving on to decor. Actually, since we're at a pause here, I'll go over some of these things. Okay, we've got some questions. What about sleeping with the main room door open? Ooh, great question. I never sleep with the door open. I like to keep it, well, to be clear, we have curtains, and we keep it a little open because our cat likes to come in and out. But the energy to me, I don't like keeping my door open because it just kind of feels invasive. I like to close my energy when I'm sleeping. So I would advise that if that feels aligned for you as well, to keep your door closed. That's like your opening to, your whole other house. There's so much energy in our spaces, we don't even realize it. So keep your doors closed and your blinds, closed as well. Okay, I have 2 snake plants and bamboo for my ancestors' altar. That's beautiful. I love the bamboo because bamboo is really grounding. It's a very rooted plant, so it will allow for you to kind of feel. And again, this is like if you have any issues sleeping, then make the remedy. But if you don't, then keep them there. It's all about testing the energy with your space. I have dried roses in a vase. Is that okay? Okay, so there's mixed Feng Shui. Different Feng Shui practitioners will say different things about dried plants. I'm really big about. I like to have dried herbs in my space. I like to dry flowers. I like to dry things and keep them. So here's what I'm reading for you, though. If you're feeling very nourished in your intimacy and your love life, then keep them there. If you're not feeling alive and nourished in that space, then bring fresh roses into your space, because they could just symbolize dead plants symbolize dead energy. They don't give us anything, right? They're not alive anymore. There's nothing that's giving life to our spaces. So that's kind of why in Feng Shui, dead plants aren't really a great thing to put in. But I'm like with a balance, with some around your home, it's going to be okay. But if you're feeling like there could be more life in your intimacy and your love life, I would take them out. I think that's clear. That was for Shanti. Okay, I sleep with the fan on my nightstand. So any energy I'm going to get into the senses and sound and all that stuff after we go over decor. So I'll get back to you on that one. So many questions, you guys. I love this. I haven't had TV in my bed in 15 years. It's amazing. Awesome, of course. I have huge windows on every wall. Even my bed has to be right in front of 3 large floor-ceiling windows. I do have blinds. Yes, if you have blinds, then yes, but so your curtains aren't dark. I would get dark curtains for sure. Yeah, get something that feels like it's just darker, because, these that I have here, these aren't doing anything. This just sort of blocks the light, but it's not really, this isn't my bedroom. So I would never put something like this. You could put this over a darker curtain if you want it for, decor purposes. But definitely just think of your bedroom, you guys, as going back into the womb. To have deep, nourishing sleep and really good intimacy, we've got to have this really safe space that feels like we can be nourished. We can kind of have our own energies there. And I say the word safe because in relationships, communication is so important, and especially in our love life. And if we can't communicate, if we don't feel safe to communicate our desires, our ambitions, our dreams, our kinks, our things that make us feel pleasure, then that's going to show up everywhere else in our life. Our voices, our throat chakras need to feel activated into this space. And so we're going to get into how do we activate our throat chakra? How do we create decor that will support the communication, the intimacy, and really ground us in our spaces. So it really depends on what you need, right? If you've got really good communication and you're really good in that space, I wouldn't enhance that. If you feel like there's a lack of receiving and you need more sacral grounding energy, I would add more of that into your space. So how we do that is through colors, through elements, and through different items that we bring into our spaces. So the best colors to put in your bedroom are, you probably would guess this, earthy grounding tones. Beiges, off-whites. Not always a good thing to have too much white in your space, because white is actually connected to the metal element, and we actually don't want, I think somebody had mentioned on a previous masterclass, confusion on elements. And so I'm actually going to go deep into the elements in my Feng Shui Essentials course, which I'll be sharing at the end of this masterclass. But the elements, you don't need all of them in one space, but so you have to know which space needs a specific element. And in your bedroom, you don't want a lot of metal energy, because it is a life energy. Metal moves. It's a higher energy than earthy energy because it's going to ground you. So we want off-whites, browns. If you want to add a little more love and intimacy, a little pop of reds or peach to add this energy of love and sort of intimacy and fire, because that's all connected to the fire element. So we have a beautiful portrait painting that I did in our bedroom that has red in it, and that was my pop of red to bring more intimacy, bring that sexiness into our bedroom, because it doesn't need to be a lot. If you have like a full-on red room and it's painted all red, that is way too much fire. We just want little tiny decor pieces, like a pillow or a red carnelian stone or or Himalayan salt lamps, like little things that is going to enhance that overall fire. You can also decorate with greens. My partner was having some trouble sleeping back like a couple years ago, and so this was when I was learning Feng Shui actually, and I was implementing it into our space. And we had one thing that really clicked for me, that's probably going to click for you guys too, is what are your sheets like? How does it feel when you get into your bed? Does it feel like, do you literally get into your bed and you're like, my bed, I love it. It's so cozy. It feels so good. It feels like I could just pleasure myself all night long. Like, that's what you want to feel getting into your space. So have sheets that feel that way. They could be silky. They could be a darker color. We actually have a dark green in our bed because it actually feels more grounding. So when he was having these sleep issues, we got darker sheets to help him sort of feel grounded in his space. So those are just some tips with that, and how to decorate. And again, using very little red, unless you really need the fire in there, but I really don't advocate for too much fire. And the elements is such a, it is for another time, because it is, there's so much of Feng Shui, you guys, that I can't even give you all of it right now, which is why I'm doing my course, to give you more and for you to understand, as a whole, what this all means, because we're just scratching the surface here. And the next thing that's really important too, I kind of mentioned this, but having metal in your space is really a no in your bed. So you don't want to have your bed sitting on a metal frame. You don't want any metal energy or metal elements underneath your bed. Which brings me to a funny story. Cameron has this collection of swords from his father, because his father was just like a gypsy pirate, you guys. And I wonder where he gets his love for sailing and everything. So he had all these sword collections, and in his mind he was like, well, I've got to protect my woman, so I'm going to put my swords underneath the bed. And when I was studying Feng Shui, I told my, first of all, he was having sleep problems, and I told my master, I said, this is what's going on. And I said, she's like, well, what's under your bed? And I was like, oh, well, these swords from his dad. And she goes, oh my gosh, take them out of there. They do not belong there. I get the whole concept of protection, but anything pointy, sharp, or sword-like, I mean, knives, whatever, under your bed is definitely a hard no. So make sure there's nothing really harsh under your bed. If you have to store something underneath your bed, make it like sheets or cushions or pillows, clothing, something that also feels like it's in relationship to your bed. So don't get those elements too mixed up, because it still needs to feel grounding. I really say nothing under the bed if you can. Just don't put anything under there. Just keep it clear. It's also so much easier to clean when you can just brush underneath there and you don't have to worry about what's inside, or what's under there. So, great. I love that, Shanti, your favorite place is your bed. That's how it should feel. If your bed doesn't feel like your favorite place, then it needs some work. It just needs a little bit of love. And maybe you need a new, comforter, mattress. A small thing, a small adjustment like new sheets or a new comforter can change, or a good pillow can change your entire sleep. So that's a huge thing. Another big thing is having a headboard. You want to have a wood headboard, something that feels grounding. And It's advised that you always want to have a headboard no matter what, because you want to feel supported on your back. You want to feel like you are able to take on your sleep with support, and it's a subconscious thing, just like the door being in your sight of vision. You're feeling grounded, you're feeling supported. Because a headboard symbolizes like mountain energy in Feng Shui, and mountain energy is all about supportive energy, things that allow us to feel like the universe has our back, basically. So when you have your headboard, all you can think about is the universe has your back. You can go to sleep. You're safe. You're gonna have amazing dreams, and you're grounded in your space. Okay, so those are some pointers there. Okay, let's get into the juicy stuff. How to attract a partner or making space for your current relationship. I kind of touched a little bit about this, but to get deeper, pairs of everything in your bedroom is very important if you want to call in a partner. I mentioned with the example of the man who had paintings of women all over his bed. You want your space. Let's actually see who is not in a relationship here. Put in the comment section if you are calling in your partner. And then put if you are in a partnership. I want to see where everybody is at and how I can best support you. Because putting pairs, and let me be even more clear and go deep with you guys on this one. You can do all the feng shui cures you want, but you have to also be ready. Because yes, this is a form of magic, and yes, this is a form of intention, and yes, this is a form of harmonizing your space. But you yourself also get to put in the work to call in that partner if you are there, if you're calling them in. And a lot of times, we're not ready because we haven't made space within our container. So us putting in the Feng Shui tips allows us to tell the universe, hey, I'm ready, I'm making some steps. And when we move energy, this is why the magic starts to happen, is when we move energy and place things with intention and create with our hands, with our minds, and with our words and with our thoughts, that is what allows for that space to come forth. All right, so we have some people calling in love, some in a partnership. Perfect. So if you're calling in that love, the biggest thing I want you to think about is there space for your partner in your room, in your life, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul? Is there space? And you got to be honest with yourself on this one, because sometimes we think we have space for them, but really we don't. We have a business that we're attending to. We have kids. We have something else that's there. As an example, my aunt was called in an amazing partner, but she takes care of my grandmother all the time. Like, that's her. She's a vice principal for a school, and she takes care of my grandmother. And the biggest thing that she had an issue with was her partner felt like he was the last of her priorities. And it hurt her because at first she's like, well, maybe he's not the one if he can't accept the fact that I have all these other priorities. But there's something to be said for that, She maybe doesn't have the space for him right now. And when we are in partnership, we do have to make space for that person, because then they do feel like they're left out. They feel like they're just kind of left on the sidelines and we're not tending to them. And it does kind of mirror how we show up for ourselves. Do we have space for us? Do we have a lot of love for ourselves? Are we, showing up for ourselves, or are we just showing up for others? So those are some things to just think about as you set your intention when you're placing your pairs. You're putting your 2 crystals on the side of your bed, or you're putting up a beautiful painting that represents love. Like, these are the things you really want to think about, because Feng Shui is all about intention. Setting this there with the intention that I'm calling this forth, and really being clear, really being ready to make that, cast that spell, cast that energetic intention out into the universe, and seeing, what is there for you. Are you ready? If you are a full body yes, you are ready, then set the space up. Like, get ready to call them in and show up for the work, show up for yourself, show up for them, and make space for them. So I have the harder time in my relationships creating that space because I'm very independent. We both, in my relationship, we are both very independent. But I know that I need time to restore and be in my solitude and to really be doing weird witchy shit. That's what I tell them. Like, I gotta go do my weird witchy shit. Like, I don't think you really want to be a part of that. So, and I had to know myself enough to be able to say that to my partner, because if I don't get that, then I start to push away, and then I start to, and so I've got to know myself to that level to be able to ask for that in my relationship. So, getting on a tangent there. So there you go, Cameron. That's seriously, I also know exactly what painting you're talking about. So Cameron put a tapestry up of Android Jones' painting called Union. I'm pretty sure I know which one you're talking about. And she called in her partner, and he showed up within 6 months. So here's the thing. You can actually manifest. If you watched my Manifesting with Feng Shui video, which was the first series of this masterclass, you will know that there's 2 really important walls in your space that allow you to tap into your subconscious mind and start to consciously create your reality with your environment. And those 2 spaces are the wall that you walk into your space with. So when you open your front door, or whatever door you come into, which should be your front door, you see a wall. Whatever that is, that's one of the most important walls. And the second one is when you wake up and you rise from your bed and you see something right in front of you, that thing that you see right in front of you, that wall, is another amazing wall to manifest in. Because what it does is you just start to see that wall every day. You see everything in your home you see all the time, but those walls specifically is how you can tap into your subconscious and and literally see your reality. So you can use artwork like what Cameron did. And a lot of times you'll realize with Feng Shui, I was like, oh, I'm already kind of doing this. It's a very intuitive exercise if you do really tap in, you understand your intuition on that deep level. So you can use artwork, you can paint yourself, you can do anything really that calls in your love and your union that you're calling forth. So I was going to share with you guys that anyway, so I'm glad we got on that. And okay, let's find where your bedroom is on the Bagua map. So you're going to get an email from me, and it's going to have the Bagua map inside of this email. The Bagua map is a 9-part square, basically a rectangle, that symbolizes every important area of your life, like your love and relationships, your wealth, if you were in the wealth corner masterclass, your travel corner, all these important areas of your life, they're represented in our home. So the exact adjacent corner in your space, so the money corner is your southeast and your love corner is your southwest. And so with that, you want to make sure you find where your love corner is in order to be able to properly put everything, set up an altar, enhance your love corner. Because it's not going to be in your bedroom most likely. You're going to have a corner mine is actually right now being used for storage because we were gone for a year. So before that, it was my meditation room. I created a beautiful altar of love in that space. So we're working on clearing it out right now, but we might not be in this space for long, so we don't know yet. But southwest corner is your love corner. So what you're going to do is when you walk into your home, you can either get your compass out on your phone, or you can, when your back is facing the door of your front door, it's the far right corner of your home. Now, if you share a space with someone, you have a roommate, and you don't have access to the entire property, then you can specify your love corner in a specific room. So if it's your bedroom, if you want to create your love corner in your bedroom, look at the southwest corner in your bedroom and create a love altar. It's a perfect spot. Even if you You know, if your love and relationships room is in the bathroom, then we want to fix that. And it oftentimes is, because you guys, my prayer and my intention is that architects learn to use Feng Shui, because so many homes have been built with complete out of alignment to the natural harmony with the earth and with what actually sets us up and what actually creates good harmony and flow. We have a lot of boxes that we live in. We live in boxes. And good flowing energy, actually, it flows in harmony around circles. That's why the circle and no sharp edges in your space are important, because in sharp edges or your bed being backed up on the wall, it creates a stagnancy of energy, and chi gets stuck there, so it can't move freely. And chi is life force energy. It's your prana, it's your inhale, it's your exhale. And your home has that too. Your home has an inhale and an exhale. And so when you're designing your bedroom, you want to really think, is my bed can it breathe? Can it inhale and exhale? Can all the chi move through this space? So all that to be said, when you're also attracting a partner, okay, let's just get into if you're not attracting a partner, but you have a current love life, and anybody who's in a partnership knows that your love life constantly gets to have nourishment. You know, you can't just be in a relationship and then be like, all right, that's it. Like, it's all going to be good and uphill from now. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. And with that being said, you've got to really allow for the relationship to grow, right? You're going to grow, your partner's going to grow, we're all growing, hopefully together and not apart. And that's, I think, what makes up a good relationship, is that you are growing together and not apart. So if you want to enhance your current love life, most of what I said to those who are looking to call in, the same applies. Maybe you want to add a little bit more fire, though, because you want more intimacy or you want better communication. So you want to think about those things when you're decorating your space. And a little bit of shifts can go a long way. Putting some roses in your bedroom that are fresh. Putting some, like a Himalayan salt lamp in your bedroom that is bringing in and kind of cleansing and purifying your space, and bringing in this. I feel like salt lamps are just such a beautiful way to bring in a dimming, sexy light. You can put that on. You can drape tapestry over a lantern, a beautiful red tapestry, and sort of let it glow. Those are just some tips, but if you really want to enhance it, the most important thing is communication. So just ask yourself, is my space, as you did in the beginning of this masterclass, is my space allowing for that communication? And what is needed in order for me to be able to clearly communicate? Is it a little more softness, a little more yin energy, where yin is feminine, it's graceful, it's allowing you to feel safe? Or is it more yang energy, where you're like, I want to get stuff done, I want to talk, I want to get down to business? Then bring in more yang energy by bringing in a little bit more masculine energy, where it's maybe harsh browns. I don't know why I'm feeling browns, a little bit of darker hues, things that aren't as soft, but they're just a little more rigid in the sense of getting things done. But even me saying that, the bedroom doesn't quite always want that space. Okay, we have a couple more questions, and then I'm going to wrap things up with our smell and everything. Smell, touch, sight, sound, and taste. All these elements tapping into the senses on what to put in your space. Cameron says, what if you have multiple stories and the front door is mid-level? That doesn't matter. Any door, you can basically walk into any, so if you're finding your southwest corner, so when you walk into that door, it doesn't matter if you have multiple levels, it's still going to be on that southwest corner is your far left corner in your whole entire home. That makes sense. And you're going to get the Bagua map sent to your email, so you'll be able to place the Bagua map on your space. And we'll go deeper into that also in my Feng Shui Essentials course. Okay, so decoration, we went over that. So tapping into your senses. This is also all about enhancing your smell, your touch, your scent, your sight, your taste, and all of these I want you to think about when you're designing and re-enhancing your bedroom. So with smell, using essential oils, a diffuser, tapping, some lavender on your body and your partner's body before you go to sleep. I'm big on incense and smoke cleansing and sage and eucalyptus and burning things that kind of make my bedroom literally feel like a spa. I want you to think of what you feel when you go to spas and create that in your space. Allow for your bedroom to feel like you've literally just entered your favorite spa, and you are going to relax and you're going to restore. And what connects us to that tranquility? It really is all our senses. It's when you walk into a spa, you're like, oh, it smells so good, and then you go and sit down on their cushions, and it feels good because it's got that softness. So your mattress, you want it to feel soft, and your sheets to be cozy and warm, or not warm if you're in a warm climate. You want them to be a little bit cooler. Like velvet, satin, Egyptian cotton, all these beautiful types of fabric that kind of tap us into, our queendom, our kingdom, making us feel like we are in our throne, in our temple, in our beautiful, like, royal spaces in our bed. I feel like beds are so royal, it's where we get all of our nourishment. So, and then sights, what do you see in your space? Does that tap you into your comfort and your nourishment? And sound. I remember seeing someone said they play a fan. Okay, so this is where your sound, I personally kind of need to sleep with some level of sound, and I either sleep with little mantras playing or binaural beats, or we usually always have a fan going if it's just to circulate air and get things moving. I really do appreciate that, so there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I do advise that just to kind of help the energy kind of feel calming. I'm a very, I love sound, I love music, so and also it all emits a certain frequency, so you can use binaural beats to go to sleep, to help you tap into that deep frequency of sleep. I've had some crazy dreams listening to binaural beats, and it's quite a fun experience. Taste, you don't really bring food into the bed, but having a cup of water next to you with some lemon or some tea, it always helps, because I don't know about you guys, but if you do wake up in the middle of the night, having a little bit of a glass of something next to you just to, quench yourself if you're an open mouth sleeper or you're just dry, that is also a lovely thing to have next to you. Okay, so that's kind of wrapping it up, you guys. Just as a quick recap, things not to have in your bed: TV, technology, mirrors. I tapped on mirrors a little bit, but mirrors, basically you don't want to see yourself when you go to sleep. That's kind of a Feng Shui no-no. And that's why we have a curtain that covers up the mirror when we go to bed. So don't have a mirror that's facing you. Never have a mirror on your ceiling. I know it sounds kinky and fun, but definitely not, especially if you have funky dreams or you can't sleep. That mirrors create energy, and in Feng Shui, mirrors are used for intention. You can use a mirror to deflect energy, to call in energy, and little hint here, if you have a neighbor or energy that you don't want from a specific house next to you, you can actually put a Feng Shui mirror on the outside of your property or on the inside of your property with the mirror facing out to direct the energy away from your space. So that's kind of an example of how and why mirrors are very powerful in Feng Shui, because they mean a lot more than just you seeing yourself or looking at your fine self and beauty in the mirror. Heavy objects above your head. I don't think I really touched on this much, but you don't really want to have any heavy objects above your head. No bookshelves with heavy things over there. I mean, I live in, most of the time, California, and there's earthquakes, and we don't really want, that's kind of a hazard anyways, but you just don't want to feel anything above your head. You want that to be, your head is a very sacred space. Don't put anything heavy over there. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Nightstands with sharp corners, clutter underneath the bed, no knives or swords from your father's collection. Bed up against the door with a wall unless you keep the door closed, block off the energy. Bed up against a wall, you want to keep space and open flexibility for that. Furniture that is too big and bulky and takes up too much space. I've definitely seen this many times over. To put furniture that kind of flows, like your space needs to feel like it's harmonious and it flows. And too many plants. All those things are don't do's. So I think you're pretty clear on what to put in your space. If you guys have any questions, more questions, now is the time. Jose says, what if the negative energy is coming from a roommate? Ooh, this is a deep one. I feel like I've had several occasions where I've lived with someone who was not in alignment to who and what I am. So the best thing to do if you have a roommate that you are not aligned with or the negative energy is coming from them, wherever your bedroom is, put that mirror there, direct the energy away, and set up a crystal grid around your space, because you really want to make sure that your energy isn't starting to also get negative because you're in that space. And if it's really not working, I know a lot of us are in very unique situations and we can't always just like move out, right? And if that's the scenario, then you just want to create a container that you feel like you're protected. So crystal grids are great, just putting crystals all around your bed, kind of keeping that container so that you're not feeling, especially during sleep, because we're very vulnerable when we're sleeping. That's when our energy is most exposed. So we want to make sure we keep that kind of closed. Black tourmaline is also a really great crystal to use to keep energy out of your space. And smoke clearing. We just got actually these little crystal wands, crystal starfish eucalyptus space clearing wands. That is up on our website. We have a Sea Witch bundle for October for the witchy season. And, I'm sure you're familiar with cleansing a space. You can consistently cleanse that space. I mean, negative energy is, it really attaches itself to things. You can also, I would absolutely advise putting a salt lamp if you don't already have one in your space. Maybe even in the main area so that the energies of the negative person is getting absorbed. So I hope that helps. Jess Bryn has the last question here. What about sleeping on the floor? Okay. I always, I think that there's mixed answers here, but if you're not having sleep issues, don't worry about it. Keep it on the floor. It might be really grounding for you to be on the floor. If you are having sleep issues, I would raise it a little bit. Maybe put it on because if you have a Japanese futon, that's kind of meant to be on the ground. Just having, there's small little, I kind of like beds that you fall into and kind of are on the ground versus them being higher. But what you can do is just put like I'm trying to think of the wording for it. They're like little, what is it called? They're wood pieces, and you kind of just put, I don't know what they're called right now. I'm totally drawing a blank. But just putting a little bit of something underneath there, just to raise it a little bit. It could be blocks. It could be wood. I'm like totally drawing a blank on what this is. They're like crates that you can put on top. You can paint them, make them really beautiful. Shipping crates. I think they're like a shipping crate. Anyways, that's my advice. If you're having issues, definitely shift it up. If not, you're probably fine. Okay. Elsie says lavender decreases sex drive. I did not know that. I always feel like lavender just helps me go to sleep. I don't necessarily connect lavender to sex. So thanks for that one. Yes, palettes. Thank you, Jess. It's been a long week, and it's Friday, so. Yes, Lisa ends in January. Cool. So you're almost there. Amazing. Thank you, guys. Yes, little risers, palettes. Cat got my tongue. Okay, so that kind of completes our masterclass. I'm going to share with you guys my, as I mentioned a little bit in this masterclass, I'm teaching a course. It's 4 weeks long, and I actually just made it a little bit more attainable because I was getting some feedback that things that people weren't able to attend on certain days, and I also am offering it right now for less than I normally do. It's at $255 for the total of the course, and also right now you can get 25% off using the code MANIFEST because you're here on the masterclass. So for these 4 weeks, we're going to be going into a lot of information, a lot more than what I talked about here. Like I said, this is just scratching the surface of Feng Shui, and if it's something that you've really wanted to study, you'll basically walk away with all the basics, everything that you need to really understand how to Feng Shui your space, how to really tap into your sovereignty, your freedom. And I personally have seen, I had a course previous to this, Sustainable Sacred Space. Some of you guys might have already taken it. And what I got to see, the transformation of what I got to see with everybody inside of that course was amazing. Because the thing is, I really get to do like an intimate deep dive with you on how to really create a space that allows you to thrive. So we're going to have a little bit more one-on-one connection. It is hosted live on Zoom, so you will get a lot of those goodies. And I'm going to put the course link here so you guys can look at all the bullet points of everything you're going to learn. I also have payment options available if you are interested and you can't do the full payment today. So I'm putting this in the comment section. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Boom. Okay. There we go. It's in there. And use the code MANIFEST for 25% off if you're interested. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. It really means a lot to me that I just get to show up and teach all this, and that you guys ask so many amazing questions. Like, all of your questions were incredible. And I hope that this really helped support you, at least just make some shifts. And the last thing I want to say is don't go crazy, do a couple things, make a couple adjustments, wait a full lunar cycle, see if those things are really making a difference, and then move on to the next thing. Because we cannot do everything all at once. Our homes are constant evolution, and it takes time. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Friday and an amazing weekend. And if you have any questions about the course, that starts actually next week, and we're doing it every Thursday. Please reach out. I have all the answers you might have questions about. So let me know if you do have any questions, and I will see you guys all soon, I'm sure. I'm doing Feng Shui Fridays live IG on my personal page, so follow me over at Nixie_Marie, and I'll see you guys around, I'm sure. I love you all. Thank you again. I will see you soon. Have a beautiful weekend.